This is our burlap pouch project. It will have a handle on it and a button that we can open up to protect our things that we put inside of our pouch. To start this project, we need 2 square pieces of burlap that are the same size, a needle that is wide enough for yarn, a button that we can sew on, and some yarn and a pair of scissors. Okay? To start this, we're going to take our needle and our yarn. We need it to be long enough to go around 3 sides of our burlap. Not the top one, because that's where we're going to have it open up to put our stuff inside. So that comes out to about, 1.5 feet or so. We're going to want a little bit extra so that we can attach our handle later. So I have about 2 feet of yarn here, just to be safe. We're going to take the end of the yarn and put it through the eye of the needle. This is the tricky part. You need to get the whole piece of yarn in there before you start pulling, or you'll split it open. I'm just going to tie a single knot so it doesn't fall off of there. Okay? When I have my 2 pieces of burlap lined up so they match, I'm ready to start sewing. I'm going to start in the corner. I just push my needle through both layers, pull almost all the way. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail again so I can tie my handle on later with that. I'm just going to tie a double knot so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. This project, when we sew these sides together, we want to see our yarn, our pretty yarn. So we're going to leave, we'll be sewing over the sides like that. So we'll see our yarn. It looks like this. So I got my yarn attached. Here's my needle. I'm going to sew this side, and this side. So go from around the back. And I need to pull all the way till my yarn stops. And then I just keep repeating that. Go around to the back, leave about 1/2 inch or so, pull all the way till it stops, and keep going. Go around the back, push through both layers, pull all the way till it stops. Okay? We're going to do this all the way down this side, the bottom, and the other side. Goes pretty quick. Now I'm working on the bottom. Again, reaching around the back side, going through both layers, pulling until my yarn stops each time. Trying to keep my threads here, my stitches, about 1/2 inch apart each time. I'm holding my burlap together so they don't start to shift too much, because I want them to line up so my bag looks neat. Around the back, pull to the front. Go around the back, push it to the front. Back to front. We're coming up to the corner to start our last side. If you put your stitches too far apart, anything small that you stick in your pouch is going to fall out, so I recommend, again, sticking to that about 1/2 inch as you go. You can certainly put them closer, but further away you're going to lose some little items that you stick in there. Okay, maybe one more stitch to bring it to the top. All right, and just how we started this, we just need to end it with a double knot. So I'm going to tie this around my last stitch. That's 1 knot and 2. Now, I don't want to cut this extra string off because I want this for my handle. So I'm just going to wiggle my needle free. Okay. When I go to make my handle, I want enough yarn that it goes around my neck comfortably, and so my project will hang about halfway down my chest. So I'm going to get that much yarn, and then I'm actually going to double it. So I measured this out. This goes around my neck and comes down on both ends about halfway down my chest, and I'm going to fold it over so I have twice that much. That way my yarn handle is extra strong, okay? Then on my string here that I had left over, I can tie my two ends together. It's one knot. We'll make it a double. Okay, that's not going anywhere. Then we'll get this side. I like the look of having the extra strings hang down. If you don't like that, you can cut off the extra ends. I'll leave that up to you. The next thing we're going to do is put on our button. And that's going to hold our items in place. This one is a little bit long. Let's cut that. There. That's my handle. Okay. Now our button, if we look at the finished one, the button actually gets sewed on the back piece of fabric. If I put this together without putting the button through, it's on the back piece so that when we put our button through the hole, it then shows up on the front. Okay. So to do that, you're going to pick out your button. We need some more yarn, but we only need a little bit this time. Okay. Put it back on our needle here. The yarn through the eye. Make sure you get the whole piece. Like I did. Let me try again. Let me try this end. My yarn is beautiful, but it's really fluffy. There we go. So I've got my button picked out and I have some new yarn on my needle. I'm going to open up my pouch here and then put my button on the back side about an inch below the top. I don't want it right at the top because it might fray and I don't want it to fall off. Okay. Then from the back, I'm going to push my needle through the burlap and the first hole of that button. Make sure you don't pull it all the way or your yarn's going to come out. Then we're going to go back into the second hole and through the burlap. So if you look on the back of your project here, you'll see we have our yarn with my needles going right through the button. I'm going to tie a double knot on this. 1, 2. Now I can clip that extra. So my button is sewed on the inside. Now we got to make a little cut so we can stick our button through it. So I just pinch the fabric that's right in front of the button. Just pinch it a little bit. With my scissors, I'm just going to make a little snip. Okay. Let me try one more time. There we go. Okay. Make a little snip, and then your button fits right through that that little slip. Starting with the bottom. There we go. And your little burlap pouch is complete.